Hi, welcome to Cook This, the summer edition. I'm your host again, Pete Calvetti. Today we're going to do a summer edition of Cook This. We're cooking outside in the beautiful courtyard of RB, and we're going to be grilling a very easy menu today. What I've made up for you guys today is some very simple grilling techniques, a very simple menu. Grilling does not have to take 45 minutes to an hour. It's a headache. Grilling should be fun in your backyard with the kids and with a cold drink, some simple food, some simple veggies, and some simple fruits. The menu I've created for you today that we're going to be cooking together is we're going to be grilling out some fresh asparagus. I'm going to be slicing some fresh eggplant, zucchini, and squash. Some proteins we're going to be cooking, two different kinds. We're going to be doing a nice cut ribeye full of a lot of marbleization and fat in it, and we're going to be cooking some bone-in pork chops. I always love the bone-in, adds a little bit extra flavor to it. Those are going to be our proteins. And a little extra kind of thing that I think a lot of people don't do, we're going to be grilling some sliced apples and some sliced pineapple. A lot of people don't do that. The kids love it, my kids love it, and I'm going to share that with you and your family today. Okay, so we're going to get started. We're going to get started right away with the veggies. We're going to slice them up. We have fresh from the market, some zucchini and squash over here. Now there's two different techniques we can use with this. You can either cut them wide into circles and put a skewer through them, and those are nice skewers for presentation for you or some guests at your home. Or I'm going to be showing you a different way today that that I do. I like them a little bit better. Is I slice them lengthwise. Comes out a little bit neater. They cook a little bit smoother, a little bit cooler, and a little bit faster. And again, this is kind of a fast edition. All this will take, maybe 15 minutes or so to cook. So there's not a long cook time on any of these grill items that I'm making. And especially like the proteins, the meats, which we'll get to next. So I just cut the squash. Next is the zucchini. I like leaving the skin on. Gives a nice little texture to it. Watch your fingers when you cut. Some people use chef knives. This is my little secret. It is a bread knife. I use bread knife on everything with bread. I don't use it on meats, but I will use it on veggies and fruit. If you're cutting a fresh pineapple, cutting apples, oranges, a nice bread knife is awesome. And when you come down, you don't break your knuckles. So here we have the zucchini, squash. Next is the eggplant. I will cut the eggplant the round way just because it is so big. So I will have nice big round chunks. Again, maybe about 1/4 inch or so. If you cut it too thick, it's going to take a long time to cook, or the outside is going to be cooked really well and the inside very little. Okay, so we got that. Okay, so I'm going to be throwing all these into a plate here for some marinating and seasoning. Next is the asparagus. Looks really cool, comes really cool off the grill. Buy these fresh. When you buy them, they're actually really long. You can either cut them or you can snap them. When you snap them, that will pretty much be breaking from the tender part to the solid part. The solid part is what we're getting rid of, so you can hear that snap. Cut them all even, so let's make somewhere about there for our guests. We'll cut it right there. Get rid of that mess, my garbage bucket. So, a good 6+ inches. They're easy to work with. Whoa. Getting attacked by ducks in the courtyard of RB here. Okay, next we'll have the meats. I cut some fresh pineapples already. I leave the skins around it. It's kind of cool. You can cut the skins out. This works great with it. And apples. Now, if you notice the apple's starting to turn a little bit, a nice little chef secret is, well, first off, we core it with the core, which is one of my best friends. It costs $2 at a store, and it cores apples. And if you got kids, need apples on the fly, it's great. So now you can see what I'm talking about when cutting through the apple, how easy it is with this knife. Slices right through, and the serrated edges are great. Okay, one more slice should do it. So you can also use apricots, peaches. We got the pineapple. For the veggies, you can use tomatoes. Pick any veggie that you normally cook, that you normally do in your kitchen. Chop it up, take it outside, season it, and throw it on the grill instead of a frying pan. Okay? Little trade secret. Get some water. cut up a lemon, squeeze it in there. Or you can use some lemon juice, that's fine too, okay? Some lemon juice, and you can use this for any fruits that you're cutting, say for a party. You know how you hate cutting fruits ahead of time because they make such a big mess and they start to turn colors. Throw your fruit in some lemon water, okay? It'll keep the brightness really fresh. Okay, let that soak over there for a while. Get rid of all these guys. Okay, marinating the veggies. Again, it's gonna be a very simple method here, guys. We are gonna be using the clean cutting board technique. Alrighty. I use a little vegetable oil. You can use extra virgin olive oil. You can even use some seasoned oil, hazelnut oil. There's a lot of different flavored oils. Oil is just an untapped market as far as people don't know how much chefs use them in dressings and stuff like that. It's not just corn or vegetable oil. There's hazelnut oil. There's so many different oils out there. Just check your oil area and try to experiment with a different kind of oil. Okay, we do that. A little bit of salt and pepper. If it turns, there we go. Salt. Use a little pepper. And then I use a little Italian seasoning. Just sprinkle that over it. Again, use your hands. Don't worry about getting dirty. Chefs always use their hands. You never see chefs with gloves on. Of course, when we're handling meats and stuff like that, yes, but get your hands dirty, we'll get it all over the place, okay? And my little thing, I like using a little paprika. Paprika adds a little bit of color, adds a little bit of a smoky flavor, makes it look a little bit sharper, and adds a nice little flavor. Again, a little chef technique. Another thing is I hate cooking with crushed red pepper. I think if you get one of those seeds on you, really kind of ruins the taste of whatever you're cooking. So a little thing I do is I use cayenne pepper. You'll retain the heat, but without getting a bite of heavy seed or anything like that. Okay, those are done. We'll move those over here. Now we're just gonna marinate the meats really quick. I have a bone-in pork chop, about 1/2 inch. Again, you can get your big fat ones. They're gonna take a lot longer to cook, a little bit more inconsistent. You're gonna have to watch that. Same thing, a little oil. This is very simple. A little oil, a little cracked red pepper, a little salt. Salt and some Italian seasoning. If it'll come out of there. There we go. Don't forget to flip it both sides when you're marinating it. Now when you're marinating this, another little technique, there's 2 different ways to do it, okay? A lot of people, what they do is they do it hours ahead of time. They put it in a Ziploc bag, throw it in the fridge, keep it in there for a couple hours. Now I stay away from that technique because it tightens the meat, okay? What you can do is you can leave it out a little bit. I leave my meat out for about an hour, leave it out in the room temperature, and the pores will open in the meat and it will soak in the marinade that you have on top of it. This, same thing, just a little bit different. I do a little olive oil. Again, get your hands dirty, rub it up. I use, it's my version. You can make your own seasoning. I just use an allspice seasoning. That's what I like. It brings in the paprika, brings in the salt, the pepper, the oregano, has everything in it already. So I give a good dousing of that on both sides. Cover it, don't be afraid. You want to cover it, don't be light on it. Alrighty. Okay, and my final thing that gives my steak its touch is I use some teriyaki. Oil, teriyaki, and a little seasoning. Really quick, really simple. You don't need 10, 12 different ingredients. You don't need to chop ginger, you don't need to do this. Now if you're making a different version, Asian, you want to do barbecue, you want to do something like that, then you're changing up into some coriander, some cumin. If you're doing Southwest style, if you're doing Indian, you can add some, some curries to it. So that's about it. I would let that sit out for about an hour, let it marinate, take in. We're gonna go to commercial. When we come back, we're gonna be taking all of these marinated dishes and throwing them on the grill and grilling them properly, okay? Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Cook This Summer Edition. I'm your host, Pete Calvetti, in the beautiful courtyard of RB, giving you some of my grilling techniques from my family to yours. So we've got some meats marinating. We got some ribeyes over here. We got some bone-in pork chops. We sliced some fresh veggies. We got some asparagus, some eggplant, some zucchini, some squash, and we cut some fresh fruit that hopefully you guys will use for your family and your kids this summer. Who doesn't like pineapple, apples? Let's give it to them in a different version. I also have a nice little spice that's gonna go on it at the end, with some cinnamon and sugar that the kids love, okay? So let's get started. Grill 101. The grill is preheated. You want it, about a medium heat. You don't want it too high because you're gonna burn your meat. And everything's gonna cook in 3-4 minutes, and it's gonna be crusty on the outside and uncooked on the inside. I think you know what I'm talking about. So I have the heater. Usually this is a big commercial grill that we're using here, but you have the regular dome grill. Turn it on high. Close the dome, let it sit for 10-15 minutes. It's gonna burn off all your old hot dogs, all your old rib pieces. The aroma is gonna be great. You're gonna wanna get rid of it though, okay? It's old meat, it's crusty. Get a nice handy dandy cleaner, and you wanna scrub all that stuff off, okay? There's two versions of this. This scrubs off that big stuff, and then this will kinda get the grime off, okay? So we've already scrubbed our grill, of course, since I'm cooking for the staff here at RB. Have to make sure we're all sanitized here. Another thing is I always have a wet towel handy. It's always helpful when you're using the meats and stuff like that. Other little trade secret chefs and stuff, we always have towels attached to us, okay? So the grill's clean, it's nice and hot. Another little restaurant chef technique we have, well, first off, have a long lighter. Stop using pieces of paper and throwing it on there. Use the long lighter, it's easier to light, okay, and it's for safety reasons. This is my handy dandy little gadget, okay? You can use a towel, wrap it up. This is what chefs use, is what we use in our kitchens because we oil our grills. If you always wonder why the burger's sticking, why the steaks are sticking, why there's so much meat left in your grill, it's because the grill isn't oiled. There's two ways of doing this. I'm gonna show you this way, okay? And then there's the dangerous way of like getting some Pam spray and spraying it. You're gonna create a flame. I don't recommend that, okay? So we take this, just dip it in a little oil, saturate it a little bit, okay? And just wherever you're gonna be cooking, you can see that coating the bars, okay? I mean, you don't just throw food on a frying pan, do you? So why should you be doing that for your grill? You should be taking care of your grill like you take care of your oven and stove at home, cleaning it, keeping it properly maintained. The grill is your friend. Alrighty. So even though we have a little oil, that'll come off right away on the meat. So now we have a nice oiled bars here. It looks great. It will smoke a little bit, don't worry about it. Plus, if you're starting your grill a little bit earlier, it'll burn off all that other stuff, and all that smoke and stuff will get out of there from old grease being trapped at the bottom, stuff like that. So you want to time your foods, okay? This is something people do wrong a lot. Well, I'll explain that. Let me throw on the longest cooking thing here and the hottest part. I'm gonna throw on the ribeyes. We throw it on a bias or on an angle. Throw it like that. There we go. Nice and neat. Where's my handy dandy towel here? You want to cook in progress. You don't want to take corn and put that on the grill that takes 45 minutes to cook and then throw on your hot dogs and hamburgers because that's going to take 5 to 12 minutes. Then you're going to be waiting on the corn, then your hot dogs and hamburgers are cold. So cook progressively. I try to make everything come off the grill at the same time. We let it cool for 5 minutes so we don't burn any pallets or tongs on the kids. And then we serve a smorgasbord to everybody. And it should be all proper temperature, okay? So keep that in mind next time you're cooking. Okay, so we got the ribeyes on. I like cooking ribeyes. The marbleization, the fat in there, that's the flavor of the meat. I add just a little bit of touch of salt, pepper, the teriyaki, and oil. Teriyaki is kind of like my little trade secret. I always have 3-4 bottles in my fridge. Bone-in pork chops, marinated, Italian seasoning, oil, salt, and pepper. Very simple. You don't need 10, 12 items, okay? This is very simple. So far, the show, it's been about 10 minutes. We got all this stuff ready. We're gonna cook for 5 or 10 minutes and then you're done. So we're, just pretend like you're doing this at home. Okay, so we have our seasoned veggies that are all tossed here. We have our eggplants. We'll just do 2 rows of that. Like that, there we go. We have our asparagus, I like them all to go the same way. We'll go right there. Keep some distance between the meats and the veggies. You don't want to cross-contaminate. You want to be very careful. That's something us in the restaurant industry know all about, but you don't want anything touching the meats, especially during barbecue season. You don't want hot dogs touching raw hamburgers, raw chicken on the grill. Very dangerous. You take those hot dogs off and they touch raw hamburger, you could get sick. So it's a little helpful tidbit for you to be careful. We're all trained. We all go to school for this, but regular moms and dads might not know about it. All right, I'm gonna leave that little guy there. There we go. I mean, that's a whole meal right there. Okay, so some other tools that we might need. Like I said, we used a long lighter to light it. My little handy dandy oiler. We use long tongs and long spatulas. Okay, if you've ever ran a grill like I have and had to cook for 500 to 800 people, you need long things because our burgers, we're cooking 80 of them at a time. You need long tongs to deal with the meat so you're not over the direct heat. Long spatulas. You're not using your little spatula to flip pancakes, okay? Keep these on the side. You can keep them by the heat. It doesn't really matter. A little trade secret. We have these things sitting over the heat. It's, obviously, they're clean already, but it sterilizes the blades, okay? So we don't mind keeping that part over the heat a little bit, okay? Let your meat cook. Hamburgers, hot dogs, steaks, pork chops. A lot of people, I see them flip. You ever see this? Flipping hamburgers, flipping steaks, okay? You want to flip it twice, maybe 3 times at the most. Let it cook your meat, okay? You should be cooking, now there's different techniques for different cooks and chefs. I recommend 60%. You cook 60% of your burger, anywhere from 50 to 70%, okay? But let it cook. If it's a 10-minute cook time, let it cook 6, 7, 8 minutes, okay? And then you're gonna flip it for the final 25, 30%. So it'll cook at 2/3, and then you flip it, let it cook its third, and then maybe you're gonna flip it one more time to check it out, okay? So I recommend that for everything. We're gonna turn these a little bit up on high here. Get some more flame going underneath that. Again, the flame's great, but if you have too much of it, you're gonna ruin the whole meal, okay? So we should have some nice grill marks over here. Let's see, nice. Perfect. Look at that, beautiful. That's what we wanna see. You got your nice flamed grill marks over here. One other thing that I do, there's the grill marks there. Come here, baby. Flip it, beautiful. Okay, leave it alone. You keep messing with it, the juices are gonna come out, they're gonna run on you, okay? Turn these a little bit, just rotate them. You can also put these on like a skewer and then just turn the whole skewer. There's so many culinary techniques, okay? I'm gonna use some smaller tongs for this. Got some right here. Sometimes I just love having different things there. There's the grill marks, beautiful. Now again, I have a lot of people in my house and a lot of kids, from my kids having friends over. So we're always grilling out. Should always be a fun time, but you should make it simple. So have the right tools at home. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's getting a little hot now by using the short tongs. So I'm using a switch to hand technique. There we go. So what I was saying is you always have guests over. It's kind of nice to cooking some kind of cool stuff. And all this stuff should be in your fridge anyways, except maybe some teriyaki and maybe some seasonings. Not everybody has paprika or anything like that. Okay. Alrighty, so this will be done. My other secret is I don't do the $18 steaks for my house. I bought 2 ribeyes for like $7. Okay, it'll feed me and my wife. I buy a bunch of pork chops for like $6. I'm feeding the whole family for $15, and we're grilling out, we're watching the kids play, and we're having a great family experience, and it was very cheap to do it. I buy 1/2-inch ribeyes. I don't buy the full cut. 1 inch, take 15 minutes, 18 minutes to cook. I buy the 1/2 inch, should take about 5 to 8 minutes to cook it to about medium. If you did want to go to the 1 inch, yeah, it's 10, 12 minutes just for rare, 14, 15 for medium, and probably 18 for well done. Okay, but I cooked the 1/2 inch, okay? It'll cook it a lot quicker. So everything's just about done. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move these babies over. I'm gonna throw the apples on. You can start moving everything over a little bit. Okay, that's nice and hot. I'm gonna do my handy dandy oil one more time before I throw my apples on. Okay, again, you want to keep separation of everything, okay? It's always a little bit better. This is awesome. The fruits are awesome. It's a natural sugar. It's gonna caramelize. That's what I love about it. My kids go through apples anyways. Might as well make them a fun snack instead of them, you know, wanting chips or something to go with it. I'm sure the chips are gonna be out there anyways, but you know what, my kids will go for the apples and stuff as well. Okay, actually that should do it right there. Okay, so now the fruit's gonna cook. That's only gonna take about 3-4 minutes. Again, this stuff's coming off now. I'll flip it one more time, make sure that side's done. Done, it's got the marks. Nice. It's got the marks. Again, you can see a little bit more of a flame here. You really don't want that on your veggies because that will burn everything. Again, I really don't like a crust on the outside and then it could be not cooked on the inside. Okay, how long we've been cooking? We've been cooking for about 10 minutes. We prepped for about 10 minutes. So now you're talking 10, 20, and now we're ready to eat in a couple of minutes here. Alrighty. We're gonna be cooking Calvetti style and plating Calvetti style. I put everything. I put all the meats into a dish. We'll put that off to the side here. We're gonna take all these veggies, put them in here. Nice and soft. Light seasoning, you don't have to over season. Again, if you don't like my seasoning, keep the veggie, switch up the seasoning a little bit. Okay, add some, if you wanna make it Spanish style, add some cayenne, add some cumin, some oregano, that'll give it a little Spanish kick to it. If you wanna make it a little Indian style, add some different curries to it. Alrighty, so now we have our veggies cooked. We have our proteins cooked. Our fruit is cooking. We're gonna go back to commercial. I'm gonna make all this pretty for you. When we come back, we're gonna be making a little seasoning for the fruit and plating all this and showing you a good Calvetti's barbecue plate that we serve in my house. Be right back. Welcome back to Cook This Summer Edition. I'm your host, Pete Calvetti, outside cooking in the courtyard at RB. We've made a simple, quick, easy dinner for you and your family here. It's something I make at my house all the time. This is also how I serve it. So this is a little secret of mine. It's cheap, it's easy. I don't have to wash 25 dishes. So I get these half pans from your big box store, you know, Sam's Club, Costco. I think like 20 of them come in a box for $8. I put all my meats in there. I put all my veggies in there, and I got all my fruits in here. So I also buy these pop-up foils. Instead of keep going through things, it has 500 sheets in it. I use it for every day, okay? So we have some great meat over here. We got the ribeyes. We got the bone-in pork chops. We have the veggies, asparagus. I got some eggplant, some zucchini, some squash. Again, you can do varieties of different seasonings and marinades for these. Pick your own choice, your own preference. I did the teriyaki. I did kind of a little Greek style, Italian style with just oil, salt, pepper, and Italian seasonings. Teriyaki oil and an allspice. Oil and an allspice. And this has its own sugars. Okay, so you got some pineapple, some fresh apples. You can also use pears, apricots, peaches, watermelon. This, you can use tomato. Try different things that you have in your fridge. Take it outside to the grill with your family. Throw it on the grill. Have a good time. Okay, well, last final thing that I'm going to do to spice up this fruit is I'm going to make a little mixture. I already have some sugar in here. You can use regular sugar, Splenda, your sweet and low, whatever you like in your house, whatever you have in your home. And some cinnamon. It's very simple, very simple. Mix it up with your finger. Sugar and cinnamon goes a long way. It's great for you. It's all healthy. It's all good for you. A lot of times with fruits and, you're adding negative stuff to it. You have a good salad and then you're throwing croutons and fat, this huge dressing. So this is a nice little spice we're adding to it. Let the fruit cool down before you serve it to the kids. It's been cooling here for several minutes. It was very hot when it came out, okay? That's it. Put it on both sides. Okay, this is these are simple and easy recipes. You can get complicated, you can start slicing up ginger and all this stuff, but this was all really simple, out of the cupboard and out of the fridge. So next time you want to go out to eat, you want to go out to dinner, open up your fridge, see what you want to just throw on the grill. You see some fruit, you see some veggies, you see some chicken. You know, the chicken takes a little bit longer. You want to make sure that's cooked well. Take it outside with your family. So this is how we cook in my house, family style. I'm never cooking for 2 or 3. We're usually cooking for 5 to 10. So I leave it in these platters. They go into the kitchen counter. We don't use little paper plates as much as my wife would like because we need some big plates here, okay? So I'm going to show you how we serve ourselves Calvetti style here. I'm going to make 2 plates. I'm going to make one for you guys to look at, and then one for me to eat. Okay, we're gonna take some asparagus. Again, it should be charred a little bit brown, but it should not be really dark black or anything like that. Okay, put 4 on there. I'm gonna start with an eggplant, zucchini, and a squash. Wow, that is awesome. I know some people are gonna be really jealous that aren't gonna be here. We'll get to see that. So take a look at that. Now I'm gonna make another plate for myself here to try. So I can't eat all this, so I brought in some professional taste testers with me. So I'm gonna see if they'll help me kind of taste everything over here. Professional taste testers, why don't you come over here, please? These are the professional Calvetti taste testers we have here. Draven and Dante.
Hey guys.
All right. He's in Brookfield baseball here, and he just got out of driver's ed. So look out, stay off the road. All right, so this is how these guys are used to eating here. Got some steak, got some pork. Stay right there, Papa. We're gonna slice this up really quick. They both want steak. They all get steak, but okay. You try the steak. And I want Draven to try some pork chop for me here. Also, the reason why I cook thin pork chop is because it doesn't get dried out as much then. You know, you get the thick pork chop, and here, I know you both wanted some pineapple. There you go. Fruit for the kids. I actually want to try the pineapple myself. That is awesome. Wow, the pineapple's fantastic. The cinnamon hits. You get the juice from the pineapple, then all of a sudden the cinnamon, and then explosion from the juices. Good? You can eat when we're done. Before I get run over for my kids, so this is a Calvetti family recipe here. Very simple. This is how we're used to eating. It wasn't expensive. We would have spent 3 times this amount if we went out to eat. So next time you want to go out, raid your fridge, see what you want to cook, bring it all outside, hang out with your kids. These are my recipes from my family to yours. Thank you for watching RBTV and the summer edition of Cook This. Until next season, I'll see you soon.